We're giving you live footage coming from the Durban port. Soon we will be able to show you the motorcade of the president. Jadli Polzer is there covering the story. Jadli, what can you tell us?
A very good morning to you, Desiree. Back in KwaZulu-Natal, a lot of excitement in the air. The president has just arrived. I'm not sure if you caught those visuals. He's very happy to be in KZN. He had his temperature checked. All the protocols were followed here. I'm going to try and speak to one of the nurses and see, how it went. Sorry, ma'am, if you're live on SABC News. We've just seen the president arrive. The protocols and ensuring that, COVID-19 protocols are followed.
Yes, thank you very much. Everything went well, very cooperative, very humble. It was an absolute pleasure to actually, and an honor to do his screening this morning. Always good. Thank you.
Are there other ministers who are also going to follow suit? I saw Minister of Transport Fikile Mbalula also arriving.
Yes, he's been screened already and he's gone in already. Yeah.
Thank you very much. That was one of the nurses who did the temperature checking here, ensure that all the protocols are followed. Desiree, it is a tight-knit briefing that the president will be going into. I'm just going to step out of shot. He's going to be in that briefing for roughly about 2 hours, and then I'm told he will be going on a walkabout here at the Durban harbour, and then he will be engaging with the media. Now, we do know that in the State of a Nation address by Cyril Ramaphosa, he did say that the Durban harbour is one of the most important ports in the country as it feeds the sub-Saharan area with imports and exports. We earlier on spoke to Premier Sihle Zikalala, who was also talking very emphatically there about his disappointment about the Transnet operations moving to the Eastern Cape, to Nelson Mandela Bay, in fact, and that he's going to be in talks with the president to try and see if they can't meet a solution. Him saying there in that interview that this will be or will have dire consequences on Durban. But anyway, that's what's happening here at the moment. I'm going to be linking to my colleague Vusi Khumalo, who is also standing by. Vusi, what do you have for us?
Thanks a lot, Jade. Yes, indeed. We are still here just around on the precinct of the port. As you can see in my background, these are the container terminals going in far places such as China, US, as well as other areas. This is one of the biggest, especially in Africa, as we have said before, that it's handling about 83,000 container terminals here in the country. It's one of the biggest, as well as the ports of Richards Bay. But we are here in Durban just to get the reactions, as we know that the headquarters of Transnet, which is currently split between Durban and Johannesburg, will be relocated to Ngqura in the Eastern Cape. Well, we are here with Mr. Mbuso Ngubane, who's coming from Numsa, is going to give us his reaction regarding this move. Already, some people, such as the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, did say that we can safely say that this decision was not safely, well communicated within the key role players, especially here in KwaZulu-Natal. Some are saying, we also read a statement from Satao Union saying that this is a move towards privatization of the port. But with us is Numsa's and Mr. Mbuso Ngubane, just to get your reaction.
Yes, let me greet you and your viewers. Yes, as Numsa, we are actually worried about the developments that are taking place here. We've been following these developments, as we have just mentioned, that they've also relocated their head office to the Eastern Cape. Now we're told that they are also going to be relocating some of the container terminals to the Eastern Cape. We don't understand what is the strategy, but also we are also looking at what their intention is to make this harbour useless, so that at the end of the day they can then be able to privatize it and have private ownership in this harbour, or private companies running this harbour. And we think that what they are doing is actually against what we could call a market demand strategy, which was adopted by Parliament, which also emphasized on two things. One, it emphasizes on job creation. Two, it emphasized on the rehabilitation of the infrastructure in this harbour. But the new strategy that is being implemented, we are not clear where was that strategy adopted and what is it that strategy entails. And that is why you'll find that most of the stakeholders are actually seem wanting as to what is it that is happening. And for us is that this harbour is one of the centers of the economy in this province, and if you ruin it, then you're going to be experiencing massive job losses. And as you'll know that we've got so many people that are being employed in this harbour, where some who have permanent status, and some who are actually casualized jobs through the already outsourced activities within the harbour. And we think that there's nothing more than about some people creating an environment for them to be able to amass a lot of money out of this. We've seen the same approach being done in the aviation under the leadership of Minister Pravin Gordhan, and we think that what is happening here is an extension of what Minister Gordhan has done in the aviation. As we speak, a lot of people have lost their jobs, and those that are getting employed at a lesser rate, and so forth and so forth. And we think that that is a kind of frustration that we as workers we ought to contend with, so that other people can come in and make a lot of money at our expense. And I think that as well, even the government and including the China municipality should be really serious about this, because even the municipality is going to be losing a lot of money out of this process, which is unjustifiable.
Okay, and then now, what will be the likelihood, the impact on the ground, especially for the Durban residents or the workers, as you also represent a number of workers under the umbrella of Numsa?
You must actually understand that one worker actually is responsible of so many family members, and if that worker loses a job, then obviously we've got so many people that are going to be suffering, because one person in our own families, you'll know that we are even responsible for members of our extended families and so forth. And therefore, if that person loses a job, then it means that not less than 10 people per family are also going to suffer out of this. But also, as I was saying, that even the municipality will be losing money, and if the municipality loses money out of what is happening here, it has got a direct impact, because municipality has got also a responsibility to also provide some services to its residents. So therefore, it needs to generate more money as much as it can. So that is why we are saying we don't understand what is the strategy behind this, and we don't even think that even Eastern Cape is going to be assisted out of this, even if you move those some of the container terminals in the Eastern Cape. We don't believe that, because we think that there is no proper strategy. Because, for instance, if you talk about Eastern Cape as we speak now, instead of manganese being transported through railway lines, it's being transported through trucks which are privately owned. And this is the same question that we've been raising, and this is the same thing that we are seeing here, that people are really beginning to open up a space just for them and their friends and their cronies to come and amass whatever that because, for instance, Transnet here is reasonably run, is reasonably making money, but with what they are doing, they are going to be plunging it into serious crisis in terms of the monies that is supposed to generate, and in terms of what the market demand strategy says to all of them.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, that's Numsa's Mbuso Ngubane expressing their unhappiness about the muted relocation of the headquarters of Transnet to Ngukha in the Eastern Cape, while joining the fray with other key role players such as the Durban Chamber of Commerce and Industry, also lambasting the move. Well, we're going to be taking you to the ad break just shortly.